Good morning. We don't have a Bible reading for this morning. No one has submitted one. And so, boo, by way of a penalty, I suppose, you'll be getting a Bible adjacent reading, a kind of fireside story time drawn from the intertestamental period. This is an addition that was yeeted right into the book of Ezra by some Second Temple Jew. It is Zerubbabel's backstory, how Zerubbabel got to be Zerubbabel, how Zerubbabel got to lead the people back to Judea to reestablish Jewish life in the Holy Land. So remember, this is, with apologies to our Eastern Orthodox friends, this is not Holy Scripture, but it is fun and interesting. I hope you enjoy it. The Tale of the Three Bodyguards. Now, King Darius made a great feast for all his subjects, and for all who were born in his house, and for all the princes of Media and of Persia, and for all the satraps and captains and governors who were under him, from India unto Ethiopia, in the 127 provinces. And when they had eaten and drunk, and being satisfied had gone home, then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept, and awoke out of his sleep. Then the three young men of the bodyguard who kept the king's person spoke to one another. Let each one of us say one thing that shall be strongest. And he whose sentence shall seem wiser than the others, to him shall Darius the king give great gifts and great honors in token of victory, as to be clothed in purple, to drink in gold, to sleep upon gold, and a chariot with bridles of gold, and a headdress of fine linen, and a chain of gold about his neck. And he shall sit next to Darius because of his wisdom, and shall be called Darius his cousin. And then they each wrote one sentence and set to it their seals, and laid it under the pillow of King Darius, and said, when the king has risen, some shall give him the writing, and of whose side the king and the three princes of Persia shall judge that his sentence is the wisest, to him shall the victory be given, as it is written. The first wrote, wine is the strongest. The second wrote, the king is the strongest. The third wrote, women are the strongest, but above all things, truth bears away the victory. Now when the king had risen up, they took the writing and gave it to him, and so he read it. And sending forth, he called to all the princes of Persia and of Media, and the satraps and the captains and the governors and the chief officers, and sat down in the royal seat of judgment. And the writing was read before them. And he said, call the young men, and they shall explain their own sentences. So they were called and came in. And they said to them, declare to us your mind concerning the things you have written. Then the first, who had spoken of the strength of wine, said thus, O sirs, how exceeding strong is wine! It causes all men to err that drink it. It makes one the mind of the king and of the fatherless child, of the bondman and of the freeman, of the poor man and of the rich. It turns also every thought into jollity and mirth, and it does not remember any sorrow or debt. It makes every heart rich, and it does not remember king nor satrap, and it makes to speak all things by talents. And when they are in their cups, they forget their love to both friends and brethren, and after a little draw their swords. But when they awake from their wine, they remember not what they have done. O sirs, is not wine the strongest, seeing that it enforces us to do thus? And having so spoken, he held his peace. Then the second, who had spoken of the strength of the king, began to say, O sirs, do not men excel in strength who bear rule over the sea and land and all things in them? But yet the king is stronger. He is their lord and has dominion over them, and in whatever he commands, they obey him. If he bids them make war, the one against the other, they do it. And if he sends them out against the enemies, they go and overcome mountains, walls, and towers. They slay and are slain, and do not transgress the king's commandment. They get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well the spoil as all things else. Likewise, for those who are no soldiers nor warriors, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they had sown, they bring it to the king and compel one another to pay tribute to the king. And he is but one man. If he commands to kill, they kill. If he commands to spare, they spare. If he commands to smite, they smite. If he commands to make desolate, they make desolate. If he commands to build, they build. If he commands to cut down, they cut down. If he commands to plant, they plant. So all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lies down, he eats and drinks and takes his rest, and these keep watch about him. And each one is not able to depart and to do his own business, neither do they disobey him. O sirs, how should the king not be strongest, seeing that in such sort he is obeyed? And the second held his peace. Then the third, who had spoken of women and of truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak. O sirs, is the king not great, and the men are many, and the wine is strong? Who is it then who rules them or has the lordship over them? Is it not women? Women have borne the king, and all the people who bear rule by sea and land. Even from them they came. And they nourished them up who planted the vineyards, from whence the wine comes. They also make garments for men. They bring glory to men. Yea, without women, men cannot be. And if men have gathered together gold and silver and any other goodly thing, and see a woman who is comely in favor and beauty, they let all those things go and gape after her, even with open mouth fix their eyes fast upon her, and have all more desire for her than gold or silver or any goodly thing whatever. A man leaves his own father who brought him up, and his own country, and cleaves to his wife. And with his wife he ends his days, and remembers neither father nor mother nor country. By this also you must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to women? Yea, a man takes his sword and goes forth to sally out, to rob and to steal, and to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looks upon a lion and walks in the darkness. And when he has stolen, despoiled, and robs, he brings it to his love. Therefore, a man loves his wife better than father or mother. Yea, many have run out of their wits for women and become bondmen for their sakes. Many also have perished, have stumbled and sinned for women. And now do you not believe me? Is the king not great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet I saw him and Apame, the king's concubine, daughter of the illustrious Barticus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head and setting it upon her own head. Yea, she struck the king with her left hand. And with that the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. If she laughs at him, he laughs. But if she takes any displeasure at him, he is fain to flatter, that she might be reconciled to him again. O sirs, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? The king and the nobles looked upon one another, So Zerubbabel began to speak concerning the truth. O sirs, are women not strong? Great is the earth, high as the heaven, swift is the sun in his course, for he compasses the heavens round about and fetches his course again to his own place in one day. Yet, is he not great who makes all these things? Therefore, great is truth, stronger than all things. All the earth calls upon the truth, and the heavens bless her. All works shake and tremble. But with her there is no unrighteous thing. Wine is unrighteous. The king is unrighteous. Women are unrighteous. All the children of men are unrighteous, and unrighteous are all such their works. And there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they shall perish. But truth abides and is strong forever. She lives and conquers forevermore. With her there is no accepting of faces or rewards, but she does the things that are just, refrains from all unrighteous and unwicked things, and all men are well pleased of her works. Neither in her judgments is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength of the kingdom and the power and the majesty of all ages. Blessed be the God of truth. And with that, Zerubbabel held his tongue. And all the people then shouted and said, Great is truth, and strong above all things. Then the king said to him, Ask what you will, more than is appointed in writing, and we will give it to you, inasmuch as you have been found wisest. And you shall sit next to me and be called my cousin. Then Zerubbabel said to the king, Remember your vow, which you vowed to build Jerusalem in the day when you came to your kingdom, and send forth all the vessels that were taken out of Jerusalem, which Cyrus set apart when he vowed to destroy Babylon, and vowed to send them again there. You also vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. Now, O Lord the king, this is that which I require and which I desire of you, and this is the princely liberality that shall proceed from you. I pray, therefore, that you make good the vow, the performance of which you have vowed to the King of heaven with your own mouth. And that's the story of how Zerubbabel led the Jews back to the Holy Land to rebuild the temple.